A judge today increased bail for former gubernatorial candidate Eliot Cutler, who is back in jail after allegedly violating his conditions of release. The 79-year-old Cutler is on probation for convictions on 4 counts of possessing child pornography. He served 7 months behind bars on the charges. According to the Ellsworth American, the Hancock County District Attorney argued today Cutler should be held without bail and requested the state set new conditions forbidding internet access, as well as any use or possession of computers or internet-capable devices. The paper reports the judge agreed to those conditions despite an argument from Cutler's lawyer it was nearly impossible to live life without access to the internet. The judge ruled Cutler can only have access if approved by his probation officer. His bail was set at $10,000 cash.